Welcome to the Retire with Peace podcast, the podcast where we help you create a fulfilling and stress-free retirement. Each week, we bring you expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you plan and live your best retirement life. Whether you're nearing retirement or already enjoying your golden years, this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Let's embark on this journey together and discover how to retire with peace.
Welcome back to the Retire with Peace podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dave Zaegel, and we're coming up on the end of the year. If you've been enjoying this podcast all year long, please give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever platform you're on. Give us a rating. Anything would be helpful just to spread the word and get this good information out to as many people as we can. We are really focused on obviously helping people and providing as much valuable information as we can on this weekly podcast. So please, like I said, if you've been following us, enjoying what we're doing, give us a like, subscribe, follow, rate us, all the above. Anything would help. Today, we're talking about health savings accounts. These often get confused with other types of accounts. There's flexible spending accounts, and those can be kind of confusing if you're not sure what these are. So let's first start with what a health savings account is and how it differs from a flexible spending account. Because a flexible spending account tends to be more of a use it or lose it. It's a payroll deduction. You need to use it right away. That's not what we're talking about. A health savings account is something that you can contribute to and really have it grow for a long time if you want to, and then take the money out tax-free. Now, let's back up a little bit further on health savings accounts, because first, you have to have an insurance plan that allows you to make contributions to a health savings account. A lot of people think, I have a high deductible plan. Great, I'm going to open up an HSA, health savings account. So I'll use HSA as the shorthand. It's pretty common. So they might say, hey, I have a high deductible plan, therefore I'm going to open an HSA account. That might not work. You have to really look at the health insurance plan itself and see, is it eligible for HSA contributions? We specify contributions because there is no eligibility requirement for distributions from the HSA plan, as long as you're using it for medical expenses, of course. So the benefit to health savings accounts is you can put the money in and receive a tax deduction for doing so. That money can grow tax-free. And if you take the money out for medical expenses, it comes out tax-free. So it's really tremendously beneficial to be able to get a tax deduction up front, have it grow and come out for medical expenses completely tax-free. It's an awesome benefit, and it even functions as a great retirement planning tool if you can make it work to your advantage. So how do we do that? Well, if we have a plan where we are allowed to make the HSA contributions, and if we have enough other money to pay for medical expenses out of pocket, what you can do is contribute to the HSA. Again, as medical expenses come up, don't use the HSA to pay for that. Use out-of-pocket money to pay for those expenses. Let the HSA grow in an investment account, because most HSAs have investment options inside of the HSA itself. So we can grow that money tax-free. And then later in life, potentially in retirement, we can be taking that money out tax-free. So it's a fantastic tax vehicle as long as you have a plan that allows you to contribute to it. And secondly, the cash to pay for medical expenses outside of the plan. It winds up providing some huge benefits, especially if you can contribute to it year after year after year and really build up that balance and also have it grow in an investment account. That can be a tremendous long-term benefit, because then it acts like a Roth IRA where you're not getting taxed as you're pulling it out. So you can sit there in retirement when you're probably going to have a decent amount of medical expenses and be pulling money out of the HSA completely tax-free. That opens up other planning opportunities when we get to that point in life where we can maybe do more Roth IRA conversions like we talk about so often on these podcasts. There's just so much that you can do later in life if you have these things structured earlier. And it's not to say that you can't start doing this later. Sure, you can start doing this in your 50s or maybe even your early 60s and start to build up a substantial enough balance to make a difference in your retirement planning. So if you have an HSA eligible insurance plan, take a look at this as an option. Everybody's going to be different. If you don't have the cash flow to pay the expenses out of pocket, then you can certainly still contribute to the HSA and pay the medical expenses out of that. And you're at least getting the tax deduction for making the contribution. That's still not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, that if you want to contribute to the HSA and then pay medical expenses out of it, still a benefit to you doing so. Just be mindful that there's additional benefit possibilities if you can pay medical expenses out of pocket and continue to let that HSA grow over time for all the tax benefits it's going to provide later being taken out completely tax-free. So keep that in mind. If you got an HSA eligible plan, look at that as an option, see if it makes sense for you, and don't be in such a big hurry to just pay all the medical expenses right out of that HSA if you can afford to pay for them out of pocket.